So team, welcome back. Welcome everyone. Day 11, continuation for Java Untitled training. Previous session, we were exploring how to read from an Excel data from Java or into a Java. So this was pretty interesting, team. And all that we did for this was we created a simple Excel file and we put it into this drivers folder. So I have a simple path here. No, I didn't put it here. I put it into a trainings folder, correct? So SQL training, API, and I believe it was math 2. And all that I had in there were a set of numbers that I want to read. So it's got 3 columns X, Y, Z. I have some numbers here and I have some values of the formula. What is it that I have? Now this content is something that I'm planning to read into my program team. So the first question should come to us as to why is it that we're planning to read anything? So your Java program interacts with a lot of applications team. Applications can be web, can be mobile, can be simple API calls also. So your data has to be there at a certain spot, and that could be in flat files, in text, and so on. At any point, you want to be able to interact with these applications based on that given data. For example, what is your username, your password, your details, your account number, all these details come into it. Now, simplest format of maintaining data is an Excel sheet. A little bit more better way of doing the same is a database, or more advanced versions are relational databases. So the concept is, where is my data? How do I want to read it? Now we wrote this very simple program team, though it looks large from a coding perspective. If you break it down, it is very easy. So let us try and read this last program and understand. You already saw what math2.xls has. It just got a bunch of data. We are not interested so much right now in the what we want to do with that data. Can we interact with the data is our main thing. So here is our first thing. I have a path that says where my file is located. And for me to be able to work with this, I need to say where my Excel file is located. So that's my standard. Read Excel is my reusable method. When I say reusable method, in my main class called read Excel J22, I created another method. So there's a main method and a read Excel. So think of it like all the other methods that we did here, like a add method or a multiply method. It does certain things. Now, how many methods are there in this function, in this class? Can someone tell me? How many methods are there in this class, everyone? Called J11 functions. How many do you see there? Including main. So that's 4 methods. There's a main method and our own custom methods. Similarly, read Excel has only 2 methods, main method and the read Excel. Let's put our focus and attention onto this read Excel. So the way we should read code before even executing this, what is it that this does? Let's only look at this line. Okay. What is important? At least the certain aspects is this aspect. What does it return? What is it returning? The correct way to say it is a 2-dimensional string array, or you can say a 2-dimensional array of type strings. It will contain the text or strings into it. Now, the next part of it says the name of the method. Now, what is fpath and fsheet? Can tell me? These are the arguments that I need to pass to call this method. So if my read Excel has to be called, I need to pass those So if I say read Excel and I do not pass anything, it will say, hey, you know what? This takes two inputs, string and string. You're not sending them. So what is the point of it? How can I execute? Okay. And just flowing further with it. Now let's expand this code once again so that it's easy for you. We spoke briefly about a two-dimensional array. So, and team, please never forget these concepts. It is very easy. At the beginning, we only kind of get a little complicated. Variable has one name to it and it has a value in it. Okay. Then there is a type of variable and some memory allocated. Memory is like a postal address. Okay. Now, if we are living everyone in independent homes, each of us or each of the homes will have its own individual address. But now let us say we live in an apartment complex where it will say block A, block B, block C, block D. And then in each block, you have many buildings, floor 1, 2, 3. So you are able to define and say, okay, you know what, go to block A, go to floor 1, go to house number 4. And that's a reference to that. Okay? So the difference is this entire thing that you're seeing is given one name, like let's say N2. This is N1, this is N2. Even this has got its own memory allocated. Can I put the same size memory team for a variable and array? Can you tell me? End of the day, your computer is all about storing memory, processing data, and giving it to you correctly. That is all it has to do. So your speed of a phone or computer is about a lot about the data usage. Question to you all: does this memory allocation and this memory allocation look the same? So if a single family is living in a independent home versus a few hundred people living in a larger community, does it require more things? Why I'm not getting any answers? You're not sure of an answer, or it's okay to give a wrong answer, team. But look at logical thing. If I need to store 1 cup of water, I can use 1 glass and that's good. If I think I'll guess how many cups do you need to prepare, team? You need to prepare a dozen of them. You will use more memory for sure. So arrays will take more memory for us, team. There's no question about it. More memory space as you plan to do. Now apartments can be empty. I'm not saying that everyone will live in those apartments, but at least memory is allocated, just like with the hotels. The rooms may be available, but if no one is staying, no one is staying. Okay, so that memory gets allocated. Now your array has that memory allocated. Two-dimensional array of type string will have all the data. How will the data look? The data will look like a XYZ axis. There will be rows and columns, two-dimensional. So I can say which row, which column I should be able to pinpoint. So if I say what is in B5, B for Bombay 5, what would be the answer, team? And these questions that I'm asking, I want to see interaction with everyone, because a lot of us make mistakes. You will not understand all the good concepts without going. Very good. The answer is 16. You go into the column B and now how about C3? Excellent. Very good. That's 17 or 16. Okay. And see, even if you gave a small error, your whole answer may go wrong. So this is where math or no errors becomes important, because we are coding, we are developing. Now look at next thing. So simple. Blank, nothing in it. Two-dimensional array of type string. Okay. Now, when I'm putting values into it, I'll say how I'll put it into it. But as of now, int x rows, x columns basically will hold. I went through this code very briefly, team. Nothing much. Data formatter is to help us understand the data. Use Apache POI, HSSF. That is the one we downloaded yesterday or the previous session. So look at that, team, how we quickly downloaded that, associated the jar to our library and have this going. And then what we were doing here, team, is we know where my file is. I know the name of that sheet. I'm basically getting access to something called X data here, which is of the same size as my Excel sheet. Okay. Once I create that skeleton, I will start putting values. Go row by row, column by column, get the cell value and put it into the two-dimensional array. As simple as that. Once it is done, my data would be here. So now look at and observe how things are going. Let us do a debug run. It will be easy. You're only writing from this math2.xls, so it is okay to keep it open while the test is executing. Let's put a breakpoint on line 16, and I'm going to execute this in debug. I'll finish this in Eclipse and Java team, and then we will get into Python also. We'll try and use OpenPyXL. So here is where you have to start looking keenly into debugging team. Step by step, what is happening? Because your code will keep improving, increasing complexity. You need to know. So it basically has information of anything that you create here. So let's execute this one step at a time. I'll just step into or step over this. Actually, when I say step over, I think it will come after reading the entire Excel. Let me see where am I. Yes, it's finished reading it, executing. And at this point, it basically, I wanted to step into this method, but I did step over. So step into will go into any function call. Step over will execute and come back. So at this point, my Excel is loaded. Everyone, for those of you, I'm again trying to emphasize on those basic aspects. So keep that things very simple. See, I'll tell you what I mean to say. Only Excel path is there here. When line 16 got executed, my Excel here is empty. When I said read Excel returns the two-dimensional array, my Excel will get created with that size. I got the length of it, and all I'm doing is printing it out like this. And I'm saying value of Z is. So whatever I'm reading from that, I'm kind of printing the same. So let's just kind of execute the whole thing. And this is what we're expecting to see everyone. So far, so good. The same concept, let us try and evaluate using PyCharm. We will come back to doing the right Excel. So we'll finish the read on both sides. What was it doing? I'm sorry. Read Excel from PyCharm using what were we talking about? My PyCharm is open. I think we're going to use OpenPyXL for this speed. And I'll kind of walk you through this. for this, I also need to talk about pip for installing Python packages. Okay. Now, yesterday, team, one second, there's a question. When I tried to do debug run, I couldn't find how to view the variable values, the variables value. Also couldn't see the step over or into. Do I need to do any other settings? Satya, I'll look into your system in a few minutes then. We'll see what's happening. Okay, so read Excel from PyCharm using OpenExcel. Now, this is more like a similar to our Apache PO in Java. It helps us to interact with Excel sheets. So in this case, similar to download jar and associate with Java project. So remember, yesterday when we had to interact with our Java project, what we did is we went to our project, right-clicked on it, properties, Java build path. We went manually to the libraries and added those comments math and POHRT. Then we could write these functions. And now the same thing, we have to do something similar in Python. I don't know if it is installed at my end or not, but the steps are very simple, team. I'll quickly walk you through them. We're doing new Python 5 py 19 read Excel. So the first thing that we need to do is pip install. I think it is will be OpenPyXL. Now, what happens is I need to import certain packages exactly like in Java. That I've said import file input stream or Apache so and so, because the specific reusable methods on things like what does this get sheet do, get last row num do, all of this are there in those packages. I have to do similar, but in this case, all I do is use our terminal out here, team. You see, all of you will be able to see this icon on your pie chart called your terminal. Can you go there, team? And here, I think I can install it from here or Python. So let me see if it works. It's on a virtual environment. I'm going to type pip install OpenPyXL, and it should start downloading certain packages or updating it for you automatically. So you don't need to manually do an import. If I had an import OpenPyXL before that, it would have thrown an error saying, hey, I did not find it. Now it should be able to do this. So you just have to do the pip install team. So these are the two commands on your PyCharm. On PyCharm terminal. And whatever we're doing, all of these we can do from command lines also. Command lines. Terminal. Use install before OpenPyXL. So this should be able to start downloading team. What do you mean you didn't get this way? Why we are doing this step? I've been explaining the same concepts over and over again, team. Please listen to this. It's very, very critical. If you're not focusing on that concept, that is where you'll get lost. Now Java is there. But Java to work out of the box comes with certain features. Think of like your iPhone. Now, if you want to buy a wireless speaker to it, you buy it. If you want to custom install a gas screen protector, or you want to put a whatever additional cam, or those are all accessories over it that does not come within your iPhone package when you purchase. As and when what you want, you go and get. The same for your car or your home. So you buy a home and slowly you start putting what you want. For Java to interact with any other different like Words or Notepad or XLS and databases, it requires to use those. Some programmer has created these archived resources, reusable ones. Like I can sit and write a code that looks saying that Karthik's calculator, use it if you want. Here is the code. Here is how you should call it. So I'll say this is my simple math calculator. And this one I'll publish it that, oh, you know what, simple math, anyone use it for us. It will help you to do better math. The same thing, what we're doing is Python. Now, instead of Java, we talk about Python. Python does not come with every feature within it because there'll be hundreds and thousands of things that you can connect to it. So it comes with the core. Whatever you require more, you do a Python package installer. That is nothing but pip. So when I say pip install, you're saying what you want to install. All the features or packages that you work with Python, you basically do the simple installation. And were you there, team, in the previous session, whoever asked this question of the read Excel, how we associated jar archived resources in Eclipse? If not, strongly recommend you to go back to the previous session, please. Okay, now let's look at, once we have installed this package for this, I can start interacting with it. So the first and foremost thing, I'll write where my path of that Excel is. So the path is the same as what we have here. A lot of things will be the same. So just copy this, put it there, no semicolon, math2.xls. Now, the first and foremost thing is, team, for me to open the document, then I want to read values, and then I want to write and save the Excel file. I am not converting into lists, Python lists in here. We use something called as pandas for this. That is something that you can explore later, or you can write custom code. What we're looking at is the basic structure on how we can. So this is very straightforward, team. So I'll have a workbook. So I'll say my workbook is nothing but that Excel workbook. Similar to in my read Excel, how we have here, the first thing is where is my file? Then I need to say where my workbook is. So I can point to that file in this. So the most immediate thing that you will notice is that the code is much more simpler in Python, team, compared to what we have for Java. So I'm going to give the path to it and I've connected to it. Now I need to talk about my sheet in it. So I'll say my sheet equals, I can say the active sheet if there's only one, or I can also read specific sheets. Only one sheet for now. So we'll just say this is equals on our workbook dot active. Whatever is there as the active. Now at this time, I believe I have opened and connected to my sheet. Sorry, too much the silence in the background. No second. So even if I can just print simple things like my sheet dot, I would see a bunch of things that I can do on my sheet. So lot of information, lot of content that we can get and so on. I want to simply try and get the title of, so I'll say the title of the sheet is, that's nothing but the sheet name that you see. It's only 3-4 steps. Let us try and execute this and how it works. So P19 run as, so there seems to be an issue. Right. So OpenPy Excel team works with .xlsx. So just saying Java plus HSSF for .xls, Java plus XSSF for .xlsx. And all of these are just a Google search away team as to when you want to implement Python plus OpenPyXL for .xlsx. So as soon as I saw this error, I could recognize that primarily it is does not support .xls format. So we need to convert it into XLRD or XLSX format. What I will do, I'll just save this as math3, so it does not interfere with the other one, and dot save. I'll just say is it not letting me save the format? I'll definitely remove this. Math3.xlsx. That's my path to. I have not changed anything else in the code team. I'm only trying to make sure if the is opening. That's the title of the sheet, and I'm able to primarily pinpoint to it and interact with it. This is getting me where the sheet is. I can do a lot of things like print. This is my sheet, right? And if I give in square brackets, things like A1. I don't think I have to set dot value, maybe. And A2 dot value and A3 dot value. So primarily, you are looking at the content coming from those cells, which is row 1, and the 3 cells on row 1 should be coming up. It's saying X and 20. I believe there'll be also then A0 onwards. No, A1 is there. Let me make sure. I just don't want to make a mistake. Okay, A1 is X, A2, right. It's column A team. I'm so sorry. A3 is 20. So that's correct. So that's the information that you're able to get from the specific cells. The same you could do it for B1 and B2. But again, there are multiple ways you can access content. It's just not one way that we can do it. I could do things like let's see. See, I can get, let us say, row R equals sheet, my sheet dot max underscore row, and C equals my sheet dot max underscore column. So it will get me both the rows and columns. So let me print those. I'll say rows are All this coding that I'm doing is absolutely essential for you to do it at your end, not just seeing the video. Pause the video and start doing it at your end. That way you can exactly practice on it. See how slowly I'm writing each of these concepts. Now, the reason I'm doing is I can also find a cell value, a specific point. I'll say and cell value is comma. I can use like this T, or I can also say my sheet dot cell. And here I can say row column number in this case. So if I say 1, 1 dot value, let me see what it brings for me. Cell value is my sheet dot cell 1, 1 dot value. Same thing if I replace this one. 4, 3. Don't know how many are there, so just want to be careful. So I'm getting some values from it. So do you see how the order is? Now, how can I get it from all these rows? Can someone tell me a for loop? Who can write a for loop for me which prints all the values? No one? And this is where I want you to play around. So what are we talking about? Simple for loop, that's all, right? There is a range that I have. I know where it starts, where it ends. So it's easy for us that way. Now, all I need to know is the range for this. So let's save this as. So let's put this for loops. Which all I'm thinking because if I put what was I getting? 1 was x4 2 was this 1 was x4 1 2 3 4 row is 4 2, so that's 12. So that's row column theme. That's how it is. So now see how I would write for I in range starting from 1 to R. That's my rows. And then for J in range 1 to C, those are my columns. Now, if I just print here, and instead of hard coding this I and then I'll put it as J, now it should be able to print hopefully everything from that sheet, but maybe one row at a time. Let us see. Oh no, it's running the old one. So pivot 50. 60/20. Cell value is X. Why it didn't print anything? There's no print command itself. So it's taking everything row by row. So what is it printing first? X, Y, 10. So first row is done. Then it's going to the next row. Then it's going to the next row, and so on. So you're able to basically navigate through that. What if you want it in the same order as the others? What you could do is put a comma here, team. So print comma. How do we put this here? Helps to print on the same line. I'll show you. So now X, Y, 10, all of this will come in the same line. That's a danger. Oh no, it didn't. Send dot value. Yeah, this is correct. I wanted to print it in the same line. Or I could maybe, let's see, Python print in the same line. Okay, geeks for geeks, print in space. Okay, so that basically gives me this output. End is there, end is good. So that's space, it finish. But it is printing it into the new line itself here. Or it can also give something like this. Let's just see this. XY10, that's correct. So then it should go into the next line from here. I don't think I have enough time to explain the logic team. Let's see. XY want to see. Ones are 3. So then where's the third column? It's easy because if it's only 3 columns, but if I have endless columns, then it will be a problem. And end, this is come. Z is missing T for me. It's playing around with it a little bit. Ding, 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 ding. After the comma, end with end is this is fine. That will add a space only here. Where is my Z? My sheet dot cell I and J. Let me try again. (15, 12, 15, 16). It's printing all incorrect numbers. XY, then it's 10, 30. Okay, then 20, 50, 11, 12, 11, 12, 15, 16. Oh, I think I know why. The column and row numbers are interchanged in this case. So this is row correct, but I have to start with J here, or I is fine, I just have to say this is J comma I if I'm not wrong. Let's right there. Um, let's do a debug run, then we will know. Okay. I in range 1 to R. What is rows? Number of rows are 6 rows. Columns are 3. That is good. So we go into one row at a time. Then what do I want to print in that row? Nothing. Then I go to the column. So I will be 1. So I comma j is what we were doing. And if I remove this, and I just print a simple one. Dot value, no end to it, nothing. Let's start with this. See if it is getting the correct values. Okay, should get all x, y, z, all of that values. So x, y is there. See, it's not going beyond that. Oh, this is also incorrect. X, y. Wherever it is seeing a formula team, that is where it is having a blank issue. All these formulas, 40 did it come? No. 1. Debug this little. Bear with me, team. Something very simple, logic or syntax. J is just to make sure what is coming, and it is printing each one in R plus 1, number 1, because starting with plus 1, that is correct. Okay, now I've got the values. I is 1, j is 1. It's primarily not going till the end of it because my count started with 1. That was the major issue. And I just wanted to make sure that it went all the way. Or I could have just said for I in range of R, correct? I'm not sure if it will go all the way. So now it's doing it. Print I is I don't need. Print J is I don't need. So let's just print this as is. It will print 1 per line, and this is correct. This is the extra line that we added. Let us remove this. Let's put a comma after this, so it will keep on adding to that old print. It's not adding to the old print here. I was trying to get them into the same line. Exactly like we searched here now. Is this? End. Okay, let's try with end also once last. In the end, we put in that. I'm giving the wrong values here. X, Y is equals correct. So this is correct. And here, I'll just put a print. There we go, finality. We got it at least the way we've seen it. So now I can delete this if I want. It looks a little bit more table as such. And it has taken the formula team, not the values for us. Now this is fine. Let us say it's got the values and we are able to read whatever is there as is. That is the first most important thing for us. Once we've read the values, then we can talk about what we can do. So in this case, the write and save to Excel is very simple team. Unlike in Eclipse, which I'll show you right now, all I do is say which one I want to say. So I'll say my sheet dot cell, and whichever cell that you want to point to. Let us say in this case 2, 3, and this let's say I set the value to edited. This is the value that I'm putting in here. And I think this has to be and then finally I'll just say my sheet.safety. There's nothing much to do. So it has primarily opened it in a save zone for us. You can save it in the same path or put it into a different path. It's your call. So if your path is that file is open, put it into a different path. It's a path 2 or path. This is math3 underscore out. So save requires where you want to save it to. I'll put it into this path. And it's taking one cell and it's trying to make it into edited. At this point, if it's done that, we'll have that file. I don't know if it does. 3 underscore out. Where is it? Oh, in the same thing, it'll create a sheet team, I believe. Where did it go? Math 3. So I took it as math 4 for now, so there's no confusion which one I'm using. Back to my PyCharm, and I'm changing the value and I'm saving it to that specific path. So if it has an issue, it will tell me also. Let me just take this. So you'll be reading all of this, that's fine. Print, all this is fine. Cell is fine, so and so, all this is okay. So here, I'm taking the value and changing it to edited. My sheet dot cell. So this is referring to that cell specifically. So this is correct. Alternately, 2.3.5. So there on so service, yeah, that as is. That's path 2, path 2. Oh, I'm sorry, team. The save is actually not for my sheet. That's for my workbook. That's the easier one. What is the name that I gave for my workbook? Educate. So I'll say my workbook is saved. Now let's try. Has no attribute save. And I am in the wrong one. Path is not defined. There is path in this, and it says, I see. Sorry. There we go. Anywhere else, path. Or thus, a few errors being spell errors. It says it's done something. We're not sure of it. So let's see if it's made changes into that Excel sheet. So row 2, column 3, it's made it as edited. So that was the change, and we could quickly close it. So changes to the Excel sheet are pretty much going to that cell and telling where it is. You have active control on that sheet. So this code basically has all those, team, how you can read it, how you can load values from it, navigate through it, do what you want with the data, change it, and also export it back. Okay, so that's by 21, right, Excel. Now can we look back at our Eclipse once, because I don't think I did the right Excel in this case. So I'm going to quickly do it, team. See. So I'm going to keep the same code. Everything is the same. Now I've read the data. I know where my content is, and I basically can do what I want with the data. So at any given point, it's saying value of z is so and so, and it's getting the data for us, correct? From the sheet, I could make changes onto it. And for this, let me use that code. Was it still open here? Excel. Oh, this is a big one because it was structured with a couple of things. So do not get over complicated with this. I'll just walk you through like English speaking. We'll figure out how to use this. None of these, team, are something that you master or you remember. You know how to use them and you're pretty comfortable at it. So now we have 3 methods within our main Java class. So I have my read Excel, I have my main method, and write Excel. Very similar to my read Excel, it has a path and the sheet. I also can give the sheet index instead of the path and say what the data is. That is what it requires as inputs. Once it has this data, it can write anything in. So here, in the earlier read Excel, we were opening up our data for file input stream, and I think we're doing the same here, but just as input stream. Okay, because we are opening it for output also. Okay, java.io, so that I have imported. Just seeing a few things. Okay, import whatever is missing, import HSS of cell. This I'm able to do it because yesterday we already imported our Apache POI and the needed ones. Set, good. So let's read this code. Read Excel, done. Write Excel, what does it do? It knows that it got a data, a set of data. So its job is very simple in this case. It first checks to see if there is a file, and what is this out file is that the file is there and it exists in that it's what it is trying to do. If it is not, then you basically plan to create it. So this is the statement where it is existing. Else what it is doing is it is creating a new sheet and it will do the same operation again. Let's assume the file exists. What we're doing here is we go into that specific sheet, creating that sheet which is there. If it's not already there, it's actually has to be indexed. And predominantly going through that entire for loop, rows and columns again, so similar to our read Excel. But in this case, instead of reading the value from cell value into two-dimensional array, we will flip this statement around, and we basically call that as where am I putting it? Here. So there we go. So we take that cell value and put that into the actual Excel cell thing. So that's the difference. So this X data is the one we're passing as the input to this function. See, this is the X data. So we know what data we want to put, where we want to put. So it is all about for us to get this data. So now whatever data we read from the earlier one, there is our code read data, and we're saying value of z. We're just playing around with that code, correct? We didn't do much in it. I can change anything that I want in that data, and we can basically do something about it. So let's say my Excel is there. So in my Excel, let us go to the first and first. So basically second row, second column. And let us say I'll put edited in this case. All right, so that's a change that has happened. Now team, step back to understand the flow. Java program. There's Java program, there's your Excel data, and there's a two-dimensional array in between. Okay? So we're reading that Excel into two dimension to do whatever you want. And when you're done with it, you want to put that back. So that is interaction. So your Java program and this two-dimensional array also have to be in consistent sync with each other. So in this case, when I said this is edited, it is only edited this local file or local array. You have not yet done anything into that Excel unless you say write Excel. So how do I now write Excel? I just call it as a read Excel method. Like read Excel, I call write Excel. And into this, we have a few extra parameters. So yes, I have my Excel path. I'll say sheet 1, that's the sheet. And let us say, what are the other things that I wanted? I think there's index and the data itself. Index, I'll say 0, for example, as a first sheet. And data is my Excel. Now see, in this case, my Excel is already a two-dimensional array, so I don't need to write square brackets and so on. When I say my Excel, it is referring to that entire two-dimensional array. If I'm not writing my Excel, if I'm saying using which is the cell, then it becomes specific value. This refers to the entire table. What is the issue here? Maybe an exception. Change to write Excel sheets. I see. Name. Correct. Right. Excel sheets. Looks okay. So if it works, all good. Otherwise, we'll fix it in the next session. So we're writing back into the same Excel sheets. We just want to make sure that that Excel is kind of available for you. Let's see where it is. Math2.xls is what we're expecting to get it changed. If nothing goes wrong in the program. So there's already some issue that has happened. End of my code. See, after end of my code, this came. So I'm going to print and say wrote the Excel. And here, class not found exception. Excel. Write Excel sheets. File output stream. None here. It came here. So basically it came here because the file exists and it made the changes, but it's throwing an error here. And what is the error? Let me see quickly. End of my code, no class defined. What class are you looking at? Write Excel sheets. Class loader. I think something with our Excel read write itself. It's also a very unnecessary piece of code. Still the same. Let's see. Read Excel is a problem. It's not even write Excel. It's happening right now. Invalid header signature. Oh no, it's happening in write Excel. The name is write Excel. When I'm going to read, no only file found math to reading. Training API. What is this? Oh, there's nothing in it, team. That's the problem. See, that's the problem. So we'll do one thing. Let's try math 3. Yeah, math 3 is accessible. That was not a code problem. The file got emptied. When we're playing with the program and all that, that's what kind of happened. Let's see if it kind of updates or not. It found the Excel, but it did not update. Let's see. Now, class not found. That's not correct. Sheet 1. Index maybe 1. Either one should be able to find. Oh, see, each time I'm writing something, you see that team? It is opening it for writing. Is it editing it? And then when I'm saving it, it's become an issue the second time. That has become the problem. So now even this file I'm not able to read because this code itself got totally bad shape. Let me try once. Here. This is the one we're doing right now. Read write Excel is pretty much very easy team. It is not this complicated. It is only complicated because the code that I'm using is very, very messy. And I'm trying to work a little bit more advanced onto the file formatting. .xls, see, this is the problem. I have a file where I'm saving it, write Excel sheets, is not completing it, and it is not writing it into the right format. My Excel is edited, so that changed, and I'm taking that data, putting it back. Yeah, it's the same code. There's definitely only something wrong with the, let's see, what could be going wrong here. I'm taking that entire data. Let me put it at least into a new sheet and see team. I'll see math3 underscore new, which does not exist, and Excel path underscore new. And but this time I still need the data. Colon training. Let's take this math one. It's easy. It's fine. I'm just saying N40 for now. And this is going to be M4. I'm going to read it. I'll put it into a new file called M4 underscore new, whatever I'm updating. Now I should be able to read and write. That is the expectation. If it doesn't happen, I'll come back and come back tomorrow on next session. I'll resolve this. Any questions, team? End of my code. Sheet index -1 CZ is out of range. No sheets. Which sheet did I give? M4. Sheet 1. Okay. And then this is I don't know if it starts with 0 or -1. Let me select. The sheet name should not actually force me to take this sheet index also. It should keep forcing me for both. So M4 underscore new, at least we could get that going, team, where we could change something and put that there. Created sheet 0, but it updated sheet 1. So there's no necessity for us to create that additional sheet itself. I just kept that there. XY is equals to X plus Y. This is the only one that we changed or edited. The code from a perspective, team, is pretty not that complicated. It is how we apply it. That's very important. So both read Excel and write Excel are there here. I will give you a simpler version of these to what we're doing in there. All right, team, any questions for today? I'll see you back. There are 2 more sessions that we have. I'm planning a little bit more on classes and access modifiers, and 1 more on array list, hash tables. Look at the code, team, and try and create your own code. I will also share this code, another 2 sessions are there, then you'll get the whole set. Right, everyone, that's it from my side. Hope no other questions for now. I'll see you back tomorrow. If you have questions, let me know, please. Someone had a question that something was not working. Do you want me to pick your presenter? You have to raise your hand, please. Right there. Who had a question? No, I don't think Satya is there. All right, team. I'll see you all back tomorrow then. Take care.